Buckle up, there's a straight up hot mess express coming around the turn.
Get started. Let's go ahead and tap that like button right down below. Let's head over to the other side of the screen. Tap that subscribe button. Yep, just like that. Then go ahead and ring that bell so you're among the first to know when I post new content.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Today I'm going to start covering the Lori Vallow, Daybell saga case. It involves missing children, mysterious deaths, you name it, it's involved in here. There are also some radical beliefs coming up, some related to a cult. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that, but we're definitely going to talk about it. There's so many layers to this case, can't exactly cover it all in one video, so we're going to kind of break this down piece by piece. But most importantly, what's going on right now is that 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old JJ Vallow are missing. Nobody has seen or heard from them since September.
Begin with new developments in the disappearance of an Idaho teenager and her young brother.
Their grandparents now offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to their whereabouts. ABC4's Rosie Nguyen joining us in studio with why they're stepping in with the search efforts now. Rosie?
Yeah, Rick, Emily, Larry, and Kay Woodcock just don't understand why their daughter Lori Vallow won't say anything about where her children JJ and Tylee are. She and her new husband, Chad Daybell, who has ties to Utah, have fled and are not cooperating with police. They know they need to let investigators do their job, but they believe someone out there knows something.
Happy birthday, dear JJ.
We want them back. We want them back in our family.
An emotional plea to the public from the grandparents of 7-year-old JJ Vallow and his sister, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan. The Rexburg, Idaho siblings making national headlines ever since they were last seen on September 23rd.
I have a tendency to get very emotional when I talk about the children.
Investigators say the children's mother, Lori Vallow, and her new husband, Chad Daybell, who has ties to Utah, have fled and are not cooperating with police.
Everybody's blown away. You can't comprehend it. You just can't.
Lori and Chad wed just weeks after his prior wife of 30 years was thought to have died of natural causes in October. But now investigators say they've exhumed her body and are looking at her case as a suspicious death. Lori also recently widowed after her prior husband, Charles Vallow, died in July. Reporters asking the Woodcocks Tuesday in a press conference if they're concerned with the unusual number of recent deaths surrounding their family.
Yes. Very much so.
Despite all of the unanswered questions, they strongly believe someone out there knows something. That's why they're offering a $20,000 reward for any information leading to their whereabouts.
We want JJ back, we want Tylee back, and we want closure.
The Woodcocks say they don't know where Lori and Chad are, but in the meantime, they've launched a website called Find JJ and Tylee for the public to send in tips. We'll have that information and more on our website at abc4.com.
At this time, there are 3 mysterious deaths tied to Miss Lori Vallow. She's been married 5 times. Her 3rd and 4th husband have passed away. The 4th one definitely under mysterious circumstances. Her current husband, Chad Daybell, his wife passed away under curious circumstances. 2 weeks after her death, Chad and Lori were married. Due to the suspicion revolving around Chad Daybell's previous wife's death, they exhumed her body. And the following day after that, Lori Daybell's brother mysteriously passed away, and he was responsible for the death of her 4th husband. Did you get all that? Because I've been following this case for a hot minute, and it still takes me a minute to figure out what goes where and who goes where and how this all plays together. So I can imagine how the investigators feel right now, because this is an absolute shit show. Recently, some documents have been released from when Charles Vallow chose to try to file for divorce last year around this time. The documents are dated February of 2019. The things he says in this document is absolutely insane, and I thought this would be a good starting point to talk about this case, since these documents break down the mindset of this woman, Lori Vallow, because there are no words for this. And I don't want to discriminate against anyone's beliefs, but I do believe, my personal opinion is that Lori Vallow has taken these beliefs and absolutely blown them out of proportion. She's radicalized herself, and it's just insane. And I feel like this is a good starting point to kind of start telling this story and getting the case out there and getting awareness, because right now Tylee and JJ are missing, and right now Lori and Chad are on the run. So we kind of need to find all of these people, and we need to do it promptly. So I'm going to read this document to you guys. We're going to go over it, and yes, I try not to add speculation, but this case is so batshit crazy that it's going to be extremely hard for me. And when I do give an opinion, I will make it very clear it is my opinion, my speculation. We'll just take it from there. And before anybody says anything, I am fully aware that I am on the batshit crazy spectrum. I get it. But at this particular time, I'm pretty sure Lori Vallow takes the cake. So here we go with the cover sheet. It's just basically saying that Charles is going after Lori. Okay, so as it goes throughout this document, it refers to Charles as father and Lori as mother. I read this document many times, and that confuses the hell out of me every time. So for the sake of sharing this information with you guys, I'm going to refer to father as Charles and mother as Lori. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier. So petitioner Charles Vallow respectfully requests the court to order that Lori Vallow to appear and show cause why the following order should not be entered. She should be awarding father sole legal decision-making of the party's minor child named Joshua Jackson Vallow, known as JJ. Father designated as a primary residential parent, awarding mother's supervised parenting time with the minor child. Awarding father an award of interim child support consistent with the Arizona's child support guidelines. Ordering that all payments be made payable through the clearinghouse, and if mother is working via valid wage assignment pursuant to that statute, awarding father exclusive use of the marital residence and vehicle, ordering mother to return the child's iPad and clothing, ordering mother to return the minor child's medication, ordering mother to return father's work desktop and clothing, and ordering mother to return the $35,000 she took from the party's business account. Husband has filed a petition for the dissolution of marriage, thus invoking the jurisdiction of the court. The parties and the minor child in common are all domiciled in Maricopa County, Arizona, and this court has jurisdiction to decide all matters. The parties have one minor child in common named Joshua Jackson Vallow, known as JJ. Father states that he should have temporary sole legal decision-making of the child, with father designated as the primary residential parent. Father states that mother has made recent decisions and comments that are concerning to him about whether Lori is mentally stable enough to make decisions for herself and the child. Lori vacated the marital residence over 2 weeks ago and has limited her communication with Charles. Mother's whereabouts are currently unknown. After leaving the residence, Lori returned while Charles was on a business trip in Texas and proceeded to clean out the majority of father's possessions in the marital residence. This is the one that I was unaware of. This has not been put in any news reports. All of her other crazy accusations and statements and activities have been. But this one, this broad is off her rocker. So before cleaning out Charles's possessions at the residence, Lori canceled Charles's flight home from Texas the day of the flight. Charles arrived at the airport for boarding and was informed that he had canceled the flight, but it was Lori who went on the airline account and canceled the ticket. Father then had to buy a last-minute ticket that cost him $600. Upon arriving in Phoenix, Charles went to the parking lot to get his truck, only to find that the truck was no longer parked there because Lori had used the spare key to get the truck and remove it from the airport parking lot. Charles frantically attempted to contact Lori, but it was to no avail. Father ended up taking a taxi to Mesa and then had a friend to pick him up and take him the rest of the way. What? It's not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's so fucking ridiculous that you can't even, like, and this is nothing compared to what we're about to hear. So just sit tight. It gets crazier. Once home, Charles discovered that Lori took Father's desktop and computer, JJ's iPad, Father's clothes and underwear, JJ's clothes, the service dog's collar, medication, among items. JJ has special needs, and has been diagnosed with autism and ADHD. He needs his medication, his service dog, an iPad with special development apps on a daily basis because that helps him maintain his routine. So time out for a second. I get you're pissed off at your husband. You do some crazy shit. But you do not take out your crazy on your kids. Period. Period. Just don't. That just pisses me off. So Lori called Charles and told him that she and JJ were in a hotel for the night and that she would take JJ to school in the morning where father could pick him up in the afternoon. Lori also told Charles that she did not want anything to do with the children and that the father could have them because she had a more important mission to carry out. So Lori also refused to return Charles' truck, which forced him to rent a car and incur more unnecessary expenses. Lori finally informed Charles where he could pick up the truck 3 days later. What a gal. Since that time, Charles has attempted to contact Mother numerous times regarding at least returning JJ's iPad, medication, and the clothes, but Mother does not respond. Mother has never contacted Charles about JJ's well-being or requested any parenting time with JJ. Charles is extremely concerned that Mother would abandon JJ and take JJ's necessities without even attempt to communicate or see JJ. Charles says that Lori's recent decision-making has caused emotional harm to JJ, who has special needs and is unable to understand the circumstances or the situation happening. Lori has recently become infatuated and at times obsessive about near-death experiences and spiritual visions. Lori has told Charles that she is sealed, eternally married, to the ancient book of Mormon prophet Moroni, and that she has lived numerous lives on numerous planets prior to this current life. Mother also believes that she was married to James the Just in a past life and lived as Mary French in the 1800s, who was Joseph Smith Jr.'s natural grandmother. Lori believes she is... After the... Okay, I can't even say it. I've tried 10 times to say this. So maybe this time I'll get it without making a horrible face or noise. Okay, so let's try again. Lori believes that she is receiving spiritual revelations and visions to help her gather and prepare those chosen to live in the New Jerusalem after the Great War, as prophesied in the book of Revelations. There, I said it. No comment. On January 29, 2019, during a phone conversation between the parties after their physical separation, Mother informed Father that she was a god assigned to carry out the work of the 144,000 at Christ's second coming in July 2020, and that if Charles got in her way of her mission, she would murder him. Jesus, hell. The next day, Father was on a business trip in Houston, and during another phone conversation, she kept referring to him as Nick Schneider instead of Charles's name. Charles said, "Who is Nick Schneider?" And Mother told him that Nick was Charles's real name because Nick had killed Charles and taken his identity. I just can't with this. This is insane. Lori proceeded to warn Father that she would kill him upon his return home and had an angel there to help dispose of his body. She also mentioned that she could not trust Charles and that she would not only kill him but would destroy him financially. This bitch. Since the conversation, Lori's communications with Charles have been rare and intermittent. Upon his return home, Father petitioned for and received an order of protection against Lori in Maricopa County. Father has attempted to get Lori some help, but she refuses to visit a doctor because, quote, they would discover that she is a translated being. I'm sure an x-ray would pick up on that, right? Around the same time the order of protection was issued, Charles filed a petition with Community Bridges for a voluntary 72-hour hold and evaluation. Charles told Lori when she needed to appear at Community Bridges, but she never showed. Community Bridges then informed Father that based on the information he provided, they would be issuing an involuntary 72-hour hold position to Gilbert Police, instructing the police department to take Lori into custody and transport her to Community Bridges if she ever made any contact with police. There is a police report for that. To date, mother has not been taken into community bridges, and father believes the petition may have expired. In short, Charles is concerned for Lori's mental and emotional health based on the recent events and comments. Clearly, Lori is not in a clear mental state, and Charles is concerned that Lori would not be able to make decisions concerning that would be in his best interest. Therefore, Charles requests that he be awarded sole legal decision-making on a temporary basis, with himself being the primary residential parent. Charles is greatly concerned that Lori may try to flee with JJ. On or about February 6, 2019, father found out that Lori had transferred 2,000 Enterprise Rent-A-Car points out of their joint rewards account, and later that day, Charles found out that mother contacted JJ's school and asked if JJ was in class. Charles is worried that Lori may be planning to use the rental car points to leave the state and potentially take JJ with her. Charles also states that Lori's mental and emotional instability is not in the best interest of JJ for him to be alone with Lori. Charles requests that mother have supervised parenting time with JJ in a schedule that is in the best interest of JJ. Now, before we move on, you'll notice this document does not reference Tylee. Tylee Ryan is not biologically Charles's daughter. At the time of this filing, Tylee would have been 16. To just throw it out there and add it to the story, Tylee's father passed away the year prior of a heart attack. He was fairly young, and now that's kind of being thrown into the mix of suspicious deaths that have occurred around this woman. So going on to child support. Father states that child support should be ordered consistent with the Arizona Child Support Guidelines. Father earns an approximate gross monthly income of $20,000. Mother has the ability to earn just over $1,900 a month, which is minimum wage in Arizona. The parties have current child care costs of $1,500 per month because Charles has had to hire a live-in caretaker for JJ. Father covers JJ on his Cobra health insurance plan for a cost of $765 per month for the child only. Lori vacated the marital residence over 2 weeks ago and has not come back to the house. Further, Charles has an order of protection against Lori, and the marital residence is a protected address. Therefore, Charles requests that he be awarded exclusive use of the home. Further, Charles requests that he be awarded exclusive use of his Ford F-150 truck. Mother went to the airport where the truck was parked while he was away on business and drove the truck back to the marital residence. This occurred during the same business trip where mother cleared out the house. Father arrived back at the airport and realized he did not have a vehicle to drive home when he saw the truck was no longer parked in the parking space he had left it in. Return of business funds. The parties own and operate a planning group. On January 28, 2019, Lori accessed the community business operating account and transferred $10,000 into the party's personal joint account. Then on January 29, 2019, Lori transferred $10,000 into an unknown account at Compass Bank. That same day, Lori then transferred $19,000 and then $6,000 from the business operating account into the personal joint account, and eventually that $25,000 to the same unknown account at Compass Bank. Father soon realized what mother had done and pled with her to return the money because the business would be able to make payroll at the end of the week. The money was not returned. Lori failed to respond, and Charles initiated a stop payment on the transfers. However, the bank informed Charles that because Lori was on the account, there's nothing they can do. Charles failed to make payroll and owes about $22,500 in commission to a few of his contracted representatives in California. Charles has been contacted by 2 of the 3 representatives, and they said that they would seek legal action if they do not receive the money. On February 11, 2019, Father was contacted by the Orange County Sheriff's Department and was informed that the representatives had filed a request for charges of theft against Lori for taking the money out of the account. Charles requests that Lori be ordered to return the full $35,000, or at the very least the $22,500 that is owed to the commission to the business's contractors. Lori's actions have severely damaged the company and Father's business reputation. Charles is fearful of the recourse that could potentially occur if amends are not made soon. Charles requests that Lori be ordered to return his personal items that she took from the marital residence. Most importantly, Charles would like to have his desktop computer back, which he uses for work and to provide for the family. Father works and runs the community business out of his house, and the computer is used for business. Father would also like his clothes and shoes returned. Mother took his business suits and shoes, which he needs for work. Charles would like JJ's personal items returned. JJ's iPad has special expensive developmental apps on it that he loves and helps keep him calm. Charles believes that the iPad should always go with JJ regardless of what type of parenting time schedule is ordered. After Lori took the medication with her, father had to go and buy more, which was difficult since the mother had drained bank accounts and left Charles with no money to provide for himself or JJ. Lori also has JJ's service dog, special dog collar with her, and Charles would like for the collar to stay with whoever has the dog and JJ. Not having his normal clothes and iPad has been very disruptive and created a hardship on JJ. Charles has prepared an affidavit of financial information. Charles respectfully requests that this court order Lori to appear and show cause why the following temporary orders should not be granted. Awarding father sole legal decision making of the party's minor child, with father designated as the primary residential parent. Awarding Lori supervised parenting time with the minor child every Wednesday and Saturday. It gives the times there. Awarding Charles child support for the minor children in the amount of $0 per month, consistent with the child support worksheet. Awarding father and children exclusive use of the marital home. Awarding father exclusive use of the Ford F-150. Awarding Lori to return father's personal items, including but not limited to his laptop computer, his clothes, his shoes, and his underwear. Ordering Lori to return the minor child's personal items, including but not limited to his iPad, his medication, and clothing. Ordering mother to return the $35,000 she took from the business operating account, and granting such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. And then we just go on to the legal mumbo jumbo and who had to sign for it and all that fun stuff. A quick rundown of this case. Now, it is insane. I've never tried to report on or follow a case that has this many layers, this many different... I mean, you can't make this story up. So bear with me as I try to give you the bare bones of it. And then in future videos, I'm going to break each section down because this case is extremely fascinating to me. On July 11, 2019, Charles Vallow was apparently in an altercation with Lori Vallow's brother, who shot him twice and killed him. This was in the state of Arizona. Her brother basically said, oh, it was self-defense, and Arizona said, okay. So apparently he was shot twice. Lori took the kids to school and then came back and called 911. I have no answers for that. So then moving forward, in September is the last time the kids are seen. In October, Chad Daybell's wife passes away in her sleep. He said she had a cough, she went to sleep, never woke up. 2 weeks later, Lori and Chad are married. Now, Chad is an author, and he has written multiple books about, the end of days and all that kind of stuff, and that's wonderful. Apparently at some point Lori had an infatuation with him, and it just grew and grew, and somehow they hooked up. Now they're married. Family members hadn't heard from the kids and finally sent the police over to do a welfare check. And when they went, Lori was like, oh, they're staying with friends in Arizona. Now, mind you, they're in Idaho at this point. We'll get into the traveling later. We'll get into that later. Lori and Chad are home. The investigators come. Oh, the kids are staying with friends in Arizona. Okay, cool. They give names, numbers, the whole deal, Investigators leave. Call down to Arizona, do the welfare check. Those kids are not there. So investigators go back the next day to be like, why the hell did you lie to us? Where the hell are your children? But Lori and Chad have fled. This happened on November 26th. So when investigators come back to be like, hey, where are your kids? Why are you feeding us a line of shit? Chad and Lori are gone. Poof. Disappeared. Just gone. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody. So then, as these stories start to kind of come out and people are starting to put together there are some strange things going around this Lori broad, then investigators decide to exhume Chad's wife. The day after Chad's wife is exhumed, Lori's brother, who killed Lori's fourth husband in July, passes away unexpectedly. That cause of death has not been released to the public, but you can't have this many coincidences and some shit not be going down. You just can't. It's this is ridiculous. So now Lori and Chad are wherever the hell they are, but they're making statements through their lawyers saying, oh, they'll make a statement when the speculation and rumors stop. Well, wouldn't logic tell you that you making a statement and coming forward would stop the rumors and speculation? Maybe that part's on you. There's no words for this. No words at all. Now, here's one thing I do want to say, because this one kind of has me on the fence. They were both involved with a group. You can look up the group's name. I'm not going to name them. They have put a statement up on their website that says they have nothing to do with all the craziness, and that's that. Now, a lot of people and even media are referring to this group as a cult, and I don't think that's very fair. What I think is that based on Lori's statements, she believes she is some sort of being that is here to save 144,000 people. And she took whatever she learned with this group and created her own reality. And now I think she is the driving force between whatever her and Chad have planned for what they believe the end of days is going to be in July of 2020. I don't think this has anything to do with the group that they were associated with before. I think they have kind of I think they've radicalized themselves, especially Lori, and have just taken it too far. And what they're doing is letting that group take the fall for whatever crazy beliefs they've come up with. That's just my 2 cents on that. That is purely my opinion. And that's just that. So I won't refer to that group as a cult because I don't think that group has any involvement in whatever bullshit Lori's got going on around her. So after reading this divorce petition that Charles filed almost a year ago, you can already see that Lori was kind of already in her own little bubble of whatever the hell it is. She's just in her own bubble. And so you can imagine that over time that has only grown. And the most suspicious part of this whole thing to me is that every person that witnessed what happened to Charles Vallow is no longer around. The witnesses would have been Tylee and JJ. Nobody knows where they are. The person who shot him was her brother, who passed away on December 13th from nobody knows what. So I think all the speculation was kind of catching up to her. I don't know, but all those witnesses being gone, that's a problem. After they exhumed Chad's wife's body, they did go a few days later and do a search of the home he shared with her. They were searching inside and outside. They took all sorts of electronics and some other things. It was surprising, which kind of leads to the speculation, and I want to make that clear, speculation, that they did find something in her autopsy that raised some red flags.
Fremont County Sheriff's deputies returned to the home they responded to in October when Tammy Daybell was found dead from what they first ruled as natural causes. This time, they're here with the FBI and Rexburg police looking for forensic evidence.
That's what we're looking for and hoping to find was something that would help identify if there was something that was used in her death.
Tammy's husband, Chad Daybell, remarried weeks after Tammy's death to Lori Vallow. Lori's children, 7-year-old Joshua Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, have been missing since September.
Those are the two pieces of this. And how they're related, we're not quite sure. We do believe they are related.
Fremont County Sheriff Len Humphreys says Tammy's death is now suspicious. Her body was exhumed in Utah, but he says they're still weeks out from seeing autopsy results. Chad and Lori have disappeared and refused to cooperate.
We do think they've left Idaho, but that's about all.
Chad's adult children, who Sheriff Humphreys says live at this home, also haven't talked to them. They didn't have any comment when we knocked on the door Friday night.
We aren't making any statements at this time.
Okay, all right. Fremont County will work on figuring out how Tammy died while Rexburg police continue to look for the children and hopefully get answers to how this is all related and if the kids are okay.
And not only are Lori and Chad doing some wackadoo things, but Lori's niece is also doing wackadoo things. And there was actually an attempt on her niece's husband's life in a drive-by shooting in Chandler, Arizona. And it's insane. So I plan to kind of try to break this down and get all the details out about this case, because once Lori and Chad are located, I'm pretty sure Lori's going to have a lot of explaining to do. So I'm going to break this down. This is something I'm going to follow regularly. I check for updates every single day. So just be prepared. There will be a lot of information coming out on this case. And like I said, it might be already figured out. It's confusing as hell. And it's probably only going to get worse. So if we can get some of the basics down and understand exactly what we're dealing with, then we can build from there and then really come up with some ideas. So I hope wherever this video finds you, you're having a great day. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I will see you guys soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Where are 7-year-old JJ and his sister Tylee? JJ is a happy kid who likes to sing with his grandpa, but he and his sister haven't been seen for 3 months, and the FBI believes they're in danger. Joshua JJ Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan were last seen in Rexburg, Idaho on September 23rd. When their extended family hadn't heard from JJ, who has autism, for weeks, they asked police to perform a welfare check on November 26th. But the children weren't home, and their mother, Lori Daybell, and her new husband, Chad Daybell, said JJ was staying with family friends in Arizona, police say. When police came back the next day, the couple was gone, according to police. Now, the FBI has joined the search, but an attorney for the couple says, quote, Chad Daybell was a loving husband and has the support of his children in this matter. Lori Daybell is a devoted mother and resents assertions to the contrary. We look forward to addressing the allegations once they have moved beyond speculation and rumor. Authorities just want to know where the children are and whether they are safe. But so far, police say Chad and Lori haven't cooperated in helping find JJ and Tylee. Anyone with information about the children is urged to call the Rexburg Police Department or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.